Helps if I unmute the microphone too.
Should you just do a sign language cast? That would be really cool.
Yeah, for all the audio listeners.
Yes, for all you audio listeners, you can hear the wafting of my hands, and you can kind of figure out what I'm doing with that.
Yes, totally.
So if you hear this, you know what I'm signing right there.
All right, so guys, welcome to episode 53 of our On Target Talk. So we're kind of continuing our theme that we were doing previous to the fun week last week. So we're talking about different rule sets, differences between various differences between various
There it is. I got it.
rule sets and events, from like Absado to Milson West, so on and so forth, to Autumn Justice. James forgetting to mute his computer again. And we are going to say, like, what would be our dream setup for a rule set? From vehicles to hits to medics to how would we like an event totally set up? And if we do run an outdoor event, guess what our rules are going to look like? But
Be the best rules.
before we start that, of course, James is going to take away the announcements.
Yes. So this upcoming weekend we have our D-Day event.
Which I'm sad I didn't get to write as much for as I hoped to. Life kind of came at me a little faster than I expected.
Yeah, stupid jobs and other things.
Full-time jobs. It's like I'm an adult or something.
Yeah, right? Man, such lame stuff. Let's just quit our jobs. But don't really, though. You need that because you need to pay for admission to all the awesome events that we're running. One of which is going to be on this Sunday. That's the 11th. It's going to be our D-Day themed event, so show up in your favorite World War II gear. I know we're all going to get all decked out. We have a lot of World War II props. I'm going to be wearing my favorite outfit of them all. You guys will see that.
Please tell me no.
Oh yes, I am going to be wearing it.
You're going to get arrested.
It's going to be good. It's period appropriate, and it is for a themed event, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm sure when you see the pictures, or when you show up the day of, you'll understand
Let's
what I
hope
mean
there's
by
minimal
that.
pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid pictures.
I think
for that
if there
one.
are, we probably shouldn't put them on our page.
But anyway, so you can pre-register now. It's $30 if you have your own gear, $30 or $50 if you need to do your own thing. If you need to rent. If you are a member, I know we already have a lot of memberships. Just let us know. I think we're almost up to like 15. Like some, I think maybe past 15.
Oh yeah.
I know we keep getting more, which is really awesome. So if you are already a part of our membership program, you just send us an email and we will put you on the list of the team for your choosing. You can absolutely still show up the day of. I just can't guarantee that you're going to get to play in the team that you want. So you can't get it all, sadly. So that's what's happening this Sunday. Definitely show up for that. It's going to be a great time. I'm very excited for that. The following weekend is our third weekend of the month, which means that we have all of our fun special events that we do. So first is going to be Pistol Shotgun Night on Friday evening, and then followed by Adult Night.
I thought we were going to do those in different weekends.
No, we're keeping that with the way it is right now.
Okay.
There's really only one or two people that complained about it being on the same weekend versus the millions of other people that show up.
Millions? Wow.
Yes, millions. Like Trump. Millions and millions and millions. Well, I can't say billions because then it's not believable. So, anyways.
They come from China.
Yeah.
China.
It's like when you pay Chinese people to watch your YouTube videos, but we pay Chinese people to show up and just kind of like stand on our field. It's kind of like the same thing, right?
Just let that one go.
Chinese labor. Anyways, so moving on. The next following week after that weekend, we have February vacation gaming. So I know a lot of you kiddos out in grade school have February vacation. That's the week of the 19th through the 25th. So the weekdays, Monday through Friday, we have Nerf gaming from 9 to 12 a.m. And then from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. we have Airsoft gaming. I should also note that Wednesday we do not have Nerf night because we have Nerf day all week long. Nerf night resumes the week after. Aside from that, we also have the expo coming up. That is going to be April 8th. We already have a ton of people registered. Make sure that you guys are pre-registered.
Drop your names.
I don't know the list off the top of my head.
Good thing it's on a Google Drive, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to pull that up because I need to keep the flow going here.
And you can't do two things at once.
I cannot do two things at once. It's really, really a lot. What's up, Chrissy? Nice to see you watching again. But yeah, I know that we have 511 is going to be showing up. I know that Stag Ops will be there.
Kevin? I know he works at
Yes. So he's actually the one setting it up. So APOC just got a job, management job at the new 511 store that opened up in Mass. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be showing up with like a booth. You know, he reserved 2 10 by 10 spaces. So hopefully we'll see something pretty cool from him. Really excited to see that. I know Tyrant Kings and a bunch of other your other local teams have signed up, and a few event organizers. Not much I know from other fields yet, though, but the stat has still yet to come.
I do kind of hope that APOC is selling some stuff when he shows up, because I want to buy some 511 pants. They're so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And maybe we'll get a bulk deal on them if we all go in and buy like a whole wardrobe with the 511. Honestly though, if you
get a corpse.
Shameless plug to 511. I mean, if you like looked at their lineup for clothes, they have some really nice like casual wear. Just the thing is like you can conceal a pistol in like a dress shirt.
And the price for quality is really
yeah. It's like I think it's like $50 for like a nice button-down shirt.
But it's really high quality.
Yeah, and like I said, it literally has like mag holsters on the inside of the shirt. It's insane. But yeah, so that should be really cool. Really looking forward to that. But other than that, that's really all we have for the news or for conversation. Just like the grand tour.
Such a good episode this week.
It was a good episode.
But what was I going to say? We should shoot. I was going to say something, but it's gone. Either way, any vendors coming down for the confirmed vendors for the expo yet?
I mean, aside from like 511, none that I know of as of yet.
Fair enough.
I know PTS. I know Greg Wong is looking into doing that.
All right, cool. Are you going to actually send him his gun back this time?
Yeah. Well, Greg, if you're watching, I'll get you your stuff back so you can make it to the next thing you go to.
You suck.
I know. He's such a great guy. He's put up with me messing. The 2 times he's come here, I've messed him up.
Wait.
His arrangements.
Who time?
Oh, the second time was even worse.
That hotel thing?
Yeah, so he was under the impression that we would, pay for lodging and accommodations. So he's like, "Hey man, I'm getting ready to fly to board the plane. Where am I going to be staying tonight?" I'm like, "I don't know. Where are you going to be staying tonight?" He's like, "Well, I need to look into lodging and stuff like that. You guys got me a hotel." I'm like, "Nah, no, we don't do that." No. It's like literally the worst conversation I've ever had, bro. I was like,
you were stressing, you were sweating.
I was literally like stress was pouring down my face when I realized that this.
You were ready to let him live at or stay at your house.
I was, and so then I'm like, yeah, man, like if you can't figure anything out, like let me know and we'll figure something out. And he's like, okay, so what would that be? I'm like, my house, and he's gonna check.
An idiot.
It was like the worst thing in the entire
He's like,
world.
this isn't my fault, read my texts. And I go read a text, I was like, James, this is entirely your fault.
Yeah, I wasn't very clear about that, so I'm now very, very, very thorough when explaining,
No,
how
now
you
he's too
set up with
thorough.
that. Yeah, now it's too thorough, and I over-explain things, and it almost sounds insulting, but I'm just like,
He mansplains.
Yes, I literally mansplain you. Thank you, BuzzFeed. Yeah, so that's what happened. Sorry, once again, Greg.
I know some Airsoft news we can go into.
Yes.
How's the Sistema?
Oh yes, so the Sistema is back in action. I got it back from its first ever repair at Z-Shot.
First ever this in 2018?
Yeah, first in 2018, and that the viewers know of. And it's working, and I didn't have to pay for it, so that was good.
So what are we estimating? 2,000-3,000 shots this time?
Honestly, I'm afraid to even put a number on that, because it's just gonna break, and it's just gonna be so heartbreaking.
I'm gonna guess approximately 4 hours into the next event.
4 hours, that's quite a lot of time.
I know, right? I'm a little optimistic this time.
Well, actually, that is quite a lot of time, especially considering it's like a CQB facility, so I'm going to be hammering that.
I know. You have brand new wiring. It's going to take you a little longer to get rid of it.
Yeah. No, actually, they sent me a whole list of things they did to it. I took a picture of it. It's actually quite impressive. He
can multitask when it's related to him.
Well, I have it literally on the first picture on my phone. Leave me alone. So they replaced the data wire, added heat shrink on the motor wires, cleaned and inspected the motor, cleaned and serviced the gearbox, checked the electronics, greased the selector, tightened down the capsule, and fixed the wiring on my Dean's selector. Selector connector. Selector connector, I'm close. So the PTW...
Fixed the soldering, aka
yes.
You did a bad job, so we fixed it.
No, I think it came with Dean's, okay?
Oh, it did? Okay.
I just ruined it from using it so many times. So the Ferrari of Airsoft guns is back in action, just like a Ferrari. It is always...
broken.
Yes, it is always broken.
I remember I was watching one of the YouTubers I follow was driving to Las Vegas in his Ferrari, and he was like, see, we're dying right now. It's like 110 degrees out, and most cars, you just put the air conditioning on. But he goes, I'm afraid to put the air conditioning on because this is a Ferrari, and the chances of the air conditioning lasting all the way to Las Vegas are unlikely, and it's supposed to be hotter on the drive back. So I want to make sure it's still working then.
Jeez.
That gives you an idea of their quality.
Yeah. So that's the PTW for you guys. Little update on that. So it should be good. You guys will see it back in action. Actually, hopefully, I'm hoping to play probably Saturday after my shift. I get out and gaming's still going on.
Well, yeah, and the guys from Owensby are going to be down here.
Oh, really?
Oh, you don't
Next
actually...
Saturday?
Did you mute the chat?
I've had that chat muted. I have like 1,000 unread messages on that chat.
No, not the big one.
The small one? I didn't mute it. I just haven't seen any new...
Yeah, they're coming down on Saturday. I'll probably be here to play as well.
Very cool. Yeah, maybe we can go out and grab some drinks after. I know
Okay.
Jesse's watching, so maybe
That's what
Jesse
Alex
can do it.
suggested, so...
Perfect.
But yeah, it should be fun.
Looking forward to that.
That reminds me, I have to print one of my custom arms for Scooter. Either way. But we can finally get on to today's topic, 15 minutes in, but that's okay.
It happens.
It does. So, like I said, today we're going to be talking about, there's a bit of a close-up to us today. Fortunately, Dan has a little bit too much homework, as happens during the school year for all you plebs still in school.
Yeah, but it's okay. You know, my engineering homework it's going to be waiting for me when I get home. All my heat mass transfer homework.
Don't worry, I heard you got a few old exams and stuff to work out, though.
Actually, I don't have any for this semester yet, so I got to bug you about that.
Yeah. No, show up. Don't condone cheating.
It's not cheating if they change the exam questions. But is it really my fault if you give me an old exam, I study off of that, and then it's the same problems? Is it really, like, come on.
Yes. That's like saying, is it my fault I didn't call my hit if the ref didn't notice?
But...
Oh no, Des has a point. What am I going to do?
I was studying but that's also the same thing like I was studying out of the back of the book, and then one of those problems showed up on the exam.
It's entirely different.
I guess. But even still, then there's
the word studying was in there.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's studying, I used it for good intent.
Okay. Either way.
Will that hold over when I'm being tried for academic integrity?
Speaking of cheating, we're talking about rules. So
perfect. We planned that, by the way.
So obviously, there's big variations, especially when you talk about these big events, and all the way into indoors, between different facilities, different fields, and different event runners. Everything from medic to vehicles to hit calling to safeties to grenades. So there's a lot to cover here, and so I think we're going to
start vehicles too.
Yes.
Okay.
Believe it or not, James didn't listen.
I wasn't listening.
So we're going to take about the first half of the stream. First half to scream. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I'm not going to scream.
We're going to take the first half of the stream kind of talking about the differences between different event runners, our opinions of them, and we're going to take probably the second half of the stream talking about what James has made a mistake and didn't bring something to put his gum in.
Still got crumbs.
Yeah, I'm not even.
You have to funnel the crumbs into your mouth.
You can eat the crumbs.
No, but
the best part is that you have to hold the gum to eat the crumbs.
Do I want the crumbs? Do I want the crumbs that bad? Yeah, I do. It's barbecue. Yeah, I do.
So, so like I said, we're going that noise. So we're going to talk about at the end of the stream. We're going to talk about what our kind of like ideal setup would be for an outdoor game, and yeah, basically for an outdoor. Maybe we want to talk a little bit about indoor stuff as well. So actually, talking different rule sets. Do you want to describe some of the different rule sets between different indoor fields to start out with? You can glaze over that.
Yes.
think one of the biggest ones to start with is safety kills. And so it was a recent discussion. We do have an employee page where we do a lot of discussions about this kind of stuff.
Mostly just trash talk.
I see. I was going to bring that up.
I mean, but let's be real. Every group of employees trash talks customers, and it's no different here.
Sometimes James does it in front of the customer.
I mean, sometimes.
And I make fun of him when he was putting his mouth.
Yeah, sometimes I do it maliciously, but other times, most of the time, it really isn't supposed to be for their ears. But they still hear it, or they're still there. But yeah, so we recently had a very interesting review from a member of the local community. And he came down, he said he loved the facility, the staff, was very impressed with everything about it. He says it's the best in New England. However, there was an issue, almost like a moral issue with the safety kill rule that we have in place here. He said it really killed the vibe for him, which is sad, because
obviously we want everyone from heavy Milsim player to from trying out for the first time. We want them to have the best time of their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like what our rule set is mostly based on just about every other indoor airsoft rule set that you'll see. Yeah, and insurance. Yeah, that's a huge one too. But our minimum age, just like many other surrounding airsoft fields, I think Stronghold is 12, but our minimum age is 10. And so if we don't allow safety kills and you turn a corner and blast a 10-year-old in the throat, there's no chance the mom's going to go looking for the player. She's going to come here and yell at us. Well,
he did like your response.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So, and anyway, so he said it really killed it for him. Actually, I did some research, and every airsoft field within 250 miles has a mandatory safety
well, that's because
or surrender
there's
rule.
a single insurance company that insures airsoft fields within New England, and they won't insure you if you don't have a safety kill and you're shooting. If you don't have a less than 5 foot safety kill, or if you have less than a 5 foot minimum engagement range, they won't insure you if you're indoor.
Yeah.
So
I think that specifically states for 18 and under as well. That's why we were able to do adult night.
Right, exactly. So, but on for regular basis.
Yes.
So we don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So he was very impressed with that. He had a few other complaints. But that's honestly any like hit calling issues that when you run an indoor airsoft field that's kind of dark, you're gonna have those. We battle it every weekend. We deal with it all the time. We catch most of it though, which is the very good part. But sadly, it was too much for him and his experienced group, which, like I said, very heartbreaking. But with the safety kill, honestly, I really hope to see him come back for adult night because it sounds like that's what he wants.
Right, exactly.
He
so I was
wants bigger
saying,
rules.
it might be worth in the future, and let us know if you agree, chat, is doing adult night twice a month. I mean, it got very popular.
Oh, it's huge. We're looking at like 40 players a night for adult night.
Yeah,
it grows every single week.
It'd be kind of fun to do it every other weekend.
Yeah, but that would be fun. I don't know if the refs would be too excited about working until 1 a.m. every night, but
it's once every 14 days.
Once every 14 days. I'm sorry. I hope no refs are watching, but I wouldn't put up with that. I'm sorry. I mean, hopefully we rotate out, different staff doing it, but
they get paid.
Yeah, you get paid. Yeah. You also get paid to go down in sewers and unclog shit and all that other stuff. Actually, to be fair, you get paid very good money to do that in the real world, though.
Yeah.
But anyways.
But point being is, like I said, we might expand that in the future so that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
More people have the opportunity. Then it really opens up the possibility of Spec Ops Night 1 again, too.
Yeah.
Either way, is referring back to the whole safety kill thing. What's funny is, I know I mentioned this on the stream in the past, but a few weeks back after our last Spec Ops Night, we didn't have time to fix the fields. It ended up being very close engagements on the far side of the field behind us. And so I offered to the players that Saturday, I said, hey, we'll do split gaming until it gets busy. We can, if you don't want safety kills, we'll run games on the far side of the field where it's very close engagements. If you do want safety kills, we'll run them on the near side of the field. We'll run both games simultaneously. Just simply go to the briefing area that you want. We'll play King of the Hill on both sides. We'll play Capture Flag on both sides. So they have the exact same experience without safety kills or with safety kills. The first 2 games, everyone was playing without safety kills. And within 3 or 4 games, there wasn't a single person lining up on that side. And it was a bunch of people are always like, I hate safety kills. There's a lot of speed softer guys who hate safety kills. And then they were like, I literally never heard any of them complain about safety kills again because they were like, okay, yeah, that hurts.
sucks. Yeah, that sucks a
lot. And honestly, I don't have an issue with safety kills. I like outdoors the whole, what do they call it? There's two names for it. There's the unenforced safety kill. There's the no B rule, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's like the surrender rule, but we'll go into that in a moment. It doesn't really work at the time scale. Indoor airsoft is that. Outdoor, you have the possibility. So basically, outdoor, a lot of times what the rule is you can get up behind someone that you have them dead to rights, and rather than being an asshole and shooting them 400 FPS point blank, you say surrender or like call your hit or something like that. And they at that point can choose to go, okay, I'm dead, or they can choose to try and matrix dodge your round, turn around and shoot you.
Which usually ends up in like 4 BBs like bleeding in your back.
Right, but you still feel like you had an opportunity to make a decision, and a lot of people like that better. I like that better, personally. And if someone made some badass move, dodged my rounds, managed to get me out, I'd be like, good on you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset. I'd probably shoot him the next time I see him instead of offering a surrender, but nonetheless. But obviously that's a 10, 15 second encounter. You can't do that in the middle of an indoor airsoft game.
Yeah, no, unless there's like, 10 people on the field at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Sneak around on someone.
So unfortunately, as much as I'd love to offer that here, we kind of do for adult night. We say, if you're point blank on someone,
it's a courtesy.
So
for adult night,
for
adult night, they're not at all required. It is not, you're not required to call it or take it, but it's a courtesy kind of thing. If someone safeties you.
The benefit of the older crowd is a lot of times they have the forethought to.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're the older crowd, they don't care.
Well, then they're smart enough to they're smart enough just to aim for the vest, which usually has a plate in it.
Yeah. So it's the adult night is quite a lot of fun. I do enjoy playing that. It hurts so I can only. There's some guys, exactly. There's some guys who do it all night. I can only play
like 11. They come in at 11 and do it not only all night, but
I know, and like I don't know, my pain threshold for CQB 400 FPS in such a fast-paced environment like this, like I can do, know some games where, you engage a squad and you get, smacked for a couple seconds, but like just hours on hours of getting whipped at 400 FPS. I can only take so much. I really can. But yeah, so that's definitely the surrender option. My favorite rule set is very similar when it comes to safety. This is actually at a New England Airsoft event. Actually, the first event I'd ever gone to. It was an outdoor event. It was at when P&L was still running Airsoft events. It was Saving Santa like 3 or something like that. So something a lot old. Back in 2012, and it was Plague given the whatever it was, the rules. And he went over safety kills, and then I only played only here actually regarding that. And his rule was, listen guys, when it comes to safety kills and shooting people up close, this is how it works. If you don't want to get shot from 3 feet away,
that's the no B rule.
Exactly. If you don't want to get shot from 3 feet away or less, don't put yourself in a position.
Well, so the person who really started that was Eric at RPC, to be fair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Eric, the runner at RPC, he called it the no bitch rule, and it was if you put yourself in a situation where you're going to get shot close, don't complain to me that you got shot close.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the rules. Don't be a bitch, And Zach commented on Facebook. He says, "I hate it when players walk down the field playing dead, then they safety you. It's a dick move. Like that is completely dick move. And sadly, there really is no rule against that. I mean, I wish there was, like a definite hit, more video game style. But also, I mean, think about how Taliban rules it. Also, I don't encourage players to play like the Taliban. They're a bunch of scumbags. But they're walking, they have their their pajamas on, and they're talking to a United States.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, whip out an AK, do that whole thing.
Here's the thing. If someone
thing.
has their hand up and is truly going.
Oh yeah, that's against the rules. Yes. Yeah.
But if they're doing a dead man's walk, where they're just doing
they're just kind of leisurely walking.
I mean, that's been something in Airsoft since I started playing 6, 7, 8 years ago. So, holy crap. It was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quite a long
when
time.
I started playing 10 years ago, that was the thing people did. I remember Kurtat telling me stories of him doing that. Surprise, surprise. Love you, Pat.
See, GMR had a podcast about that where they were talking about they went to some field and there was just this one guy that just kept like ghost walking like into these like buildings, just like gunned down, just kind of like chill walking. He'd just like get into a position, he'd bring it up and just like shoot everyone. And you're just like, dude, you suck. Yeah, I guess he did it a few times. But probably the worst for me is when I'm at like a Milsim game.
And your own team frags you?
No, well that's the worst. But no, when clearly you're in an engagement and you guys are fighting each other, but you're outside of any feasible airsoft range, and they're just walking from cover to cover, and you're just like, dude, you suck. At least like, come on, hustle a little bit.
Pretend.
Yeah, like at least pretend like you're actually getting shot at. Come on. Even if we're shooting at you and it's like falling 20 feet short, just don't walk.
My favorite was I think you were there, or was it Jake? I thought it was both of you. When there was a guy waving at me and I hit him. There was a guy, we were so far away that I fired a few rounds and landed short of him. He fired a few rounds and landed way short of me. And I was like, he waves back and I went real high and fired a couple rounds and he was like, he pulls out his red rag like, damn.
It's like, I'm not going to kill your whole squad, but I can at least kill you.
And he was just like, all right.
It's actually one thing I've been doing in PUBG lately is when I have a few minutes, I like to play solo squads, and it's honestly, it's such like a sick satisfaction I get from this. But you drop into an area where 1 or 2 squads will drop, and I go for execution, so I'll knock out their guy and kill one of them like early on game. Just knowing that they have to sit there watching their teammates play for another 30 minutes. It's just so much fun. Like, I will always go for the execution. And it's just like, I hate it. It makes me so mad when that happens to me. But it's always so fun to give it back. It's just honestly the best. It really is.
What about when they choke it in the last person?
I did really well. I did really well. If you guys watched our live stream of me, Des, Vinny, and Scott playing PUBG, there was one round where I made it to top. It was squad's top 2.
He was the last guy on our squad with like 17 guys left. Managed to make it last 2. Had this guy dead to rights and just walked out of cover.
Yeah, I thought this guy was like stimming up or healing, so I walked out of cover. Because I thought I saw like a gun move or something like that, like on the back moving. So I moved out of cover to see if I could get around him on a hay bale. He wasn't stimming. He popped out of cover and shot me like twice and I died. It was really sad. But yeah, no, if you watch the very end of the last stream, I absolutely wreck house. I whack like 5 guys and then I choke. It's really sad, but it's still interesting up until that point.
Their blood.
I did. Yeah, so that's fun. Should be streaming hopefully, I think the 2nd, Tuesday. The 19th, no, 20th. Tuesday the 20th is the next time we'll be doing a late night, or at least I will be doing a late night stream.
I'll probably be there. So what was I going to say?
Anyways, back to that.
Rule set.
Yeah.
So in terms of indoors, you'll find most people are 300. Most fields are 350 FPS with a safety. That's kind of become the standard now. It used to be 400 FPS semi-only. Some fields. That seems to have fallen by the wayside.
It's mostly like indoors 350, outdoors 400. I think is what like the general norm.
So I like building most guns to shoot right at 350 because in terms of AGs, things you can't adjust because 350 is still plenty for outdoors, but he gets plenty outdoors too.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I still need up Pat's spring. There was a misunderstanding when it built its gun, and so.
Oh, he wanted it outdoor.
Well, I was like, do you want me to go for 400-ish or 350-ish? Being like, do you want me to outdoor only or indoor and outdoor? He's like, oh, 350-ish. So it was like 330 when I was done. I was like, okay, this should be fine. But he was like, oh, I know you meant that. Yeah, I'll take up to the field limit. And I was like, oh.
All right.
Whoops. Okay. That seems to change. Actually, I think he said he might be coming down for adult night. We were talking about it. I'm not sure. Either way, hopefully.
Should be good.
So, rule sets. Let's move to outdoor stuff. Actually, is there any more big differences between the indoor fields?
Indoors, like indoor to indoor?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I mean, if you glaze over their, their rules, they have a few different.
I'm not talking like speed softer specific ones or anything like that. I mean,
yeah, like general gear. Some fields may not require full face protection. I think we've seen them kind of a change where most fields are requiring it, even if they're not legally required to. I know that when I was here as a player, something changed, and you guys legally had to require full face protection, right?
Yes. So I'll show you something real quick. Midstream.
So I know that happened. I'm pretty sure that's a very common rule that you will that you'll see at at indoor fields. But I really can't think of anything like some fields don't enforce trigger guards. I mean that's more of a new rule with
I don't know if we pioneered that. We were definitely one of the first.
Yeah, with the introduction of like paintball triggers in Airsoft. I mean, I was like immediately like, no, there's no. If you want to take, paintball.
Well, it's funny because I made a paintball trigger for PR-15 when they first came out, just to piss off Joe Payne because he was like, I hate HPA guns. You can shoot too fast. He's like, they're like paintball guns. So I was like, okay, and I literally took a paintball trigger and modded it to fit in the PR-15 and be like, hey Joe, what do you think now? And then I took it out immediately because it was the stupidest thing ever, but it was like, just to be funny. And then when it actually started happening, I was like, no, I don't want this.
No, this is supposed to be funny, guys. This isn't funny anymore. But yeah, so for the most part, I mean, indoor, I feel that there's a lot more dangers associated with indoor play. So as a result, you're going to see a lot more strict rules, a lot more universal rules as well, which is nice. I mean, most people, for the most part, people who show up here, they never played it before. They generally are, aside from like the 10-minute long rules video that explains everything. If you played indoor like once or twice, really anywhere, you can kind of walk on almost any indoor field and kind of know what's up. But outdoor fields, it gets a little bit more, loose, and then later on we'll get into event runners where it gets extraordinarily specific, which is the best.
Yeah, which specific has its pros and cons. I have been to a few events where I think the rules might be a little too specific, if I'm going to be honest, and that a lot of people tend to they get so caught up in the nuances of the rules that it kind of pulls you out of immersion.
It's kind of like browsing Facebook while I was watching the Super Bowl. Great game, by the way. I mean, both teams fought really hard. And
sports ball.
Yeah.
As I was puking.
Yeah.
So we should know actually that's why the stream wasn't on Monday.
Yes, sickness. We were all sick.
James's girlfriend picked a fantastic place to go for her 21st birthday. It was delicious. And then gave us all food poisoning.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to name the place because I think it was just a freak occurrence.
Yeah, I've been there plenty of times.
Exactly, I love that place. But either way, it was
very sad. It was painful too. It was.
Yeah.
I came back from the bar Saturday night, not to gross anyone out, but I came back from the bar Saturday night, and this was Friday night that we all ate out, and my stomach was just kind of queasy. I'm like, oh, this is kind of annoying. And I'm sure that you've had this before, where you just kind of throw away. You're like, you know what? I'm just gonna go throw up.
It'll be good.
It'll be good. And so I did that. Help. No, well, actually, for a minute, for a little while, I did my thing, and it was all good. I'm like, wow, I feel great. I drank some water to rehydrate. The water didn't sit right, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a whole thing tonight, isn't it? And then over the course, up to about 4 in the morning, Jesse at 3:30 in the morning went to CVS to get me Pepto-Bismol and all that stuff. It was painful. I would go in and out of sleep. And then as I was falling asleep, I would breathe in really heavy, which would upset my stomach and set a chain reaction. It was the worst.
Yeah, that's where I was at on Saturday, Monday.
Yeah, so it all hit us at different
various times.
But anyway.
Real quick, not to go. This is just a quick story. I was in the middle of shopping with my friend, and we were in a store. And all of a sudden, I get this crazy sweat. I have my jackets on, and I'm fine. So I'm like, man, it's warm here. I take one jacket off. I'm still sweating, and I'm like, I take the other jacket off, take my sweatshirt off. I'm like, why am I so warm? And all of a sudden it's like, I need to go to the bathroom. And just went to the bathroom and straight vomited, and I was like, oh no.
This is a thing. Yeah, so we got all this alcohol and stuff, and I ended up just I had to call out of work, and I was just watching the game on the couch, in my pajamas.
He hosted a party.
Yeah, he hosted a party, and everyone bailed because everyone was getting sick or didn't want to get sick. So only 2 other people showed up. So I'm just laying down on the couch watching this. But anyways, So getting back to the game, and the rule set and stuff like that. Like the Eagles would score a touchdown, and there was that whole thing with like possession, and the NFL rules for possession and touchdown stuff. It's miles long, pages long, and it's just so annoying. Like it kind of just gets to the point where he's like, oh well, only 4 of his fingers, only
get back to the game.
Yeah, like only like 3 of his 5 fingers were making contact with the ball when he was in the zone, and then 5 fingers were making contact, but his left pinky was on the white line, so he should have been out. That's not a touchdown. The Eagles suck. Patriots should be winning right now. But I mean, that if you look at like the yards, which like how they were able to advance up, not even looking at touchdowns and all the technicalities, both teams had like 500 yards.
Well, there's more yards than I think any other game.
Yes, yeah, more yards than any game ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so like both teams were doing very well, and it's just like, why do you got to get so caught up in the rules? And that's something that you see a lot in Airsoft too, is people just get so caught up in these specific rules that really don't matter. Like, I mean, albeit sometimes they do matter if it's an objective based.
And I was going to say, that's what my issue is. Some rule sets, your thing.
It's all
I
good.
think some rule sets are just so complex and over the top that I think instead of helping you, I think rules should help you get immersed more and keep the game running smoothly.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're so over the top. Like I said, it really pulls you out of that immersion factor. We've talked in the past that I understand on a game running side why Stag Ops does the whole email them a picture of the score sheet every time you score it.
Yeah.
But I feel every time we do that, I feel like this is taking me out of the game.
Yeah. Like, let me whip out my
smartphone and take a picture here and email it. Every single time I had to do that, I really just felt like it pulled me out of the game.
I don't know. I honestly I understand that from like a gaming kind of like aspect, but like think about it.
No, like I said, I understand
if you're like on tour in Afghanistan, and you like put bullets in some guy's head. Like you see pictures all the time, like guys taking pictures next to them, like,
right.
oh,
my point is,
they're
not like, it's not like they just stormed a building or something like that. They're not sitting there taking pictures, and they're definitely not emailing it off. That will get them very much so like court-martialed.
Yeah.
Can you move your computer?
That was actually you.
Oh, really? It was?
Yes, it was.
I didn't get the ping on my end. Oh, there it is. So point being though is for example, just rules that I'm not 100% fan of, but we'll get into that more in detail. What are, do we want to start with an event runner and go through some of their specifics, or do we want to talk about specific types of rules like grenade rules, medic rules, and
I think it's just to reach a broader audience, just talking about general rules.
Okay, so let's talk about the differences in. I think grenade rules is a fair one.
Yeah.
Now I'll start off saying my personal preference. Actually, you know what? I'll get to my personal preference after. Let's go through. The rule sets in the big event runners better than I do, so I think here you can talk about this a little bit.
So when it comes to grenade rules, really you're gonna find 2 kinds of grenade rules. I mean, you'll see like restrictions and other such things pertaining to all that, and but really what you'll see is the true airsoft grenade, like your hit kind of rule. Like you feel a BB, impact you're hit, or there's the spirit of the grenade rule, which is, and I think that's what Sato uses, is the spirit of grenade rule. So if a grenade goes off in a room, generally it's like there's like a 15-foot kill radius on that, and if you're within 15 feet of this grenade going off, as long as
line of sight.
What's
is it line of sight for Sato or no?
Like line of sight. I mean, like if you're behind cover, like concrete, but a grenade goes off like right next to you, obviously you're not dead. But you're like, I guess line of sight is the best way to put it. And so like, let's say, and it only works for true airsoft grenades. So like P grenades, you can't throw a thermobaric or a thunder bee in there and be like, oh, I just killed you guys all. No, sound grenades are still sound grenades, they're still distractions and all that crap. But there's a spirit of the grenade, and then there's also just the actual grenade where if you genuinely didn't get hit by it,
right,
that's all good. But really, if you have an explosive grenade and you're within like 10 feet of it, you're going to get hit with something.
Right.
It's the tornado grenades that spin that. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll strafe right by you, the stream of BBs, and you'll be like, oh, it's mine!
All too frequently, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious.
So, it's such like a plus minus. It's Ensato that does Spirit Grenade, right?
Yeah, and honestly, I like that kind of better.
So we ran into an issue with that though, with the whole someone threw a grenade, and they were like, oh, it was like, oh, you were like 14 feet away, and we were like, no, we were 17 feet away, we were fine, and that does kind of
frustrate
frustrate
me.
The
gray area.
Cause it's not like a video game where it's like, here's the dead area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like, okay, like maybe I was 14 feet away, but there was 17 guys between me and the grenade.
Yeah, I understand how it can be kind of cheesy.
But on the same token, the issue is a lot of these grenades, stuff comes out at like 14 FPS and you don't feel it.
Yeah,
so,
which is why I prefer it. Like, in most situations, like you're gonna be throwing grenades in rooms. Like if you're using them right, you should have no issue with that at all.
Right.
Like you let off your grenade, you cook it for a second or two, you throw it in, bang, you shoot in like seconds. It should be like literally seconds that you're doing these kind of things, not like kind of lobbing it and being like, oh yeah, I totally got you, bro.
Yeah, but
like,
this is Airsoft.
Exactly, this is Airsoft, so you always get that.
Yes.
Always.
So I'm actually, at first I was really set on the pellet strike kind of idea. I don't know, I go back and forth on what I prefer, to be honest. I believe Stag Ops does.
I think
pellet strike.
Yeah.
I think if a Nerf rocket goes into a building through a window or a door, everyone in that immediate room is dead.
Yep, yeah, that's also how they do it. And I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, totally. I think that makes using like the Nerf rocket launchers a little more realistic, a little more practical.
Yep.
So I like the idea of that. And then otherwise, it's pellet strike. I think that's a good balance to the rule, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, right, Des?
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Remember that? Remember you said that thing that literally no one knows about? Remember that?
Except everyone, because you looked it up and you're like, oh, I guess this is the same.
Yeah, because The Simpsons did it in that one episode from the 1990s.
It wasn't like The Simpsons invented it. Simpsons invented Spider Pig, but that's about it. Spider Pig.
So you watched The Simpsons the other day. I watched that episode. It was an old one where it was season 4 where Marge becomes a police officer. It was funny because it aired in 1994, but they're spot on. If you ever seen the South Park episode Simpsons did it, or people always say, oh, the Simpsons are always they call everything. But they call everything. I mean, they brought up some pretty deep society issues related to all that. They had a couple great scenes too, where she shooting the person the hostage holding a baby and stuff like that. The guy goes out and he's like, you missed the baby, you missed the old lady. It's pretty great.
So bad.
But yeah, no, it's definitely some fun stuff when you get into grenades. And I was just on the phone with earlier today with Taggin, my supplier for Taggin, bugging them every month or so. I call them up and bug them about the
explosives.
Exactly, the explosive grenades. And they said the DOT has given them a time frame of the end of first quarter, so end of March.
But you're going to say the end of the century.
Yeah, well, honestly, it'll probably be the end of the century because I was told before the winter season last year, and then I was told, oh, it'll be right after the new year.
Be here for Christmas?
Yeah, kind of thing, just like the Glocks. Yeah, that was great. That was really great.
Any new word on that yet?
Nope, nothing.
Good.
Still waiting on that, so hurry up, Cliff, with that one.
Well, not Cliff. All right, Vlog.
Yeah, actually, I know that is Vlog. What's up, Dom? Happy to see you on.
So, is there any other types of grenade rules out there?
Let's see. Well, there's always, not really. When you have your vehicle engagement,
Well, there's no powers allowed grenade rules.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah, you have your real specific rules on what you can and can't launch. But that's just that's a very specific and boring topic.
Here is a good one. You throw a smoke grenade, right? Usually you throw a smoke grenade to be able to move fast, whether it's in or out. However, smoke grenades frequently cause fires. So here are your 3 things. A, should smoke grenades just not be allowed in general? B, if you throw a smoke grenade, should you have to stick around to make sure it doesn't cause any problems? And there was a C in there that I forgot.
Honestly, I think that shouldn't be dealt with on the player end. that should be a
No.
field kind of thing.
We're talking about rules.
I know. I am
Okay,
talking
oh,
about
so you're
rules.
saying the field
Yes,
should
I'm
be...
saying that shouldn't be the responsibility of the player to, for the concern of fire and stuff like that. That should be up to the property owner to determine whether or not they're going to allow grenades like that
I know,
day.
that's what we're saying is, as a property owner, what would your...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about as a player.
No. We're talking about rule sets. Players don't make up the rules. The event runners do.
Gotcha. Well, fine. Well, then I guess I'll take whatever the option was that was not putting the player in charge of staying around and waiting.
Okay.
So it's either they're allowed or they're not allowed. Throw it, forget about it. That's that. If it catches on
So
fire.
if it's allowed, you should be able to...
Yeah, if it's allowed, you should just be able to use it. All right. Like if people tell you that you can't use something or that you can use something and then you use it and then it sets fire to everything and they try blaming you, it's like you literally told me I could use this. Like it's not your fault. I'm sorry, that's
What
not
about
your
picking up
fault.
the trash after?
What about picking up the trash after? That again should be the field's responsibility. That's part of playing airsoft or smoke grenades. It's been a thing
They're
for,
made of
for a while.
cardboard, to be fair. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
probably agree very quickly.
Exactly, like that's all in the field end. It's like that's like me telling players to pick up their BBs and we clean it
That's
up.
very different.
Well, even still, like
You always use bios when you go to events.
oh yeah, I always use bios all the time, 100%. I always have a bottle of bios with me when I go to events.
Yes, I know you always have a bottle of bios with you when you go to events.
Yes, that's what I just said.
You
Moving
do.
on. But yeah, no, I think to an extent, really, you want to talk about whole like specific rules things when you get like all specific like that, and then you get all anal about like what the players should do.
And that's like I said, that's why I wanted to bring that up, because we're talking about grenades.
And this is coming from a management perspective. I try to make my employees' jobs as easy as possible for them. Sometimes their job sucks and it's hard, but so is mine. Like any job ever. But if I can make it easy, like this is something stupid, but like all the switches in one space, because like referees every night, they always forget at least one or two plugs, and it happens. It's just a thing. It would be nice to just not have to rely on them to do that. And I'm not saying that our referees are bad or anything like that. I could remind them a million times every shift, and they'd still forget. I would too.
Like all the LEDs that weren't on for Nerf night.
Yeah, exactly, just like that. Yeah, so I forgot everything too. So what I'm getting at when it comes to rules in airsoft is like there should be a lot that should just be handled by the field and everything like that.
So that the players don't have to lose immersion.
Exactly, yeah. So they don't have to be so concerned.
That's what I was getting at. But I think a rule set should be focused on keeping things safe and not having to have the players remove for immersion. So
exactly.
I would agree with your point. I just want to play devil's advocate a bit.
Yeah. I hear you.
So, okay, let's move over to medic. I think that's another really big one.
Those are always the best.
So some events just don't have medics. And when you're hit and you go...
Yeah. Medic, I think this one should also be tied into squad integrity as well. This whole set of rules.
I would disagree, because I think that's a whole different thing. Like, for example...
if you leave a man behind, you might as well leave him for dead.
Right, but my point is, like, when
medic's
Sato
job.
says you leave a man behind, well, it sucks to be hit, and Stagop says, you leave a man behind, your team's effed.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about squad integrity next, because it does tie in closely, but it is different.
Okay.
But medic rules. So let's, like, for example, let's go over what Stagop does and what Sato does, and I don't know what Milson West does. You might know that better. So
Milson West, I have a few things to say about
start
their. Oh, okay. So the Milson West team that I went to Operation Iron Horse.
don't complain about the whole vehicle thing.
Well, I didn't actually have any. Oh, Milson West. I'm sorry. Did I say Milson West? I meant American Milson.
Oh, okay.
I do apologize.
Okay, either way, it's whatever one you do know. Let's talk.
Yes,
about
yeah. So American Milsom, I went down to Operation Iron Horse at the Guardian Center before it was closed off for 5 years due to a government contract. So go me, I got to do that. But anyways, basically, like it was a really cool facility and everything. And the medic rules were interesting. I had to go out and spend like $10 on ace bandages. Because they require you to wrap an ace bandage, which is cool. I like medic rules that make you simulate some kind of procedure on someone. It's not like a battlefield game where like you touch someone with the finger of life and they're back in. I like that. I like Milson West tourniquet rule and all that good stuff. But just one thing that I really didn't like about how they ran their game is it felt like a big game of Airsoft. Like, it felt
Yeah,
like...
That's the immersion issue I'm talking
Exactly.
about. Yeah.
And it was like I went to UBG, and I was like playing with the UBG rule set, but I was at this like multi-million-dollar facility. And it was just super lame. Like, you'd shoot people, and they just turn around and walk back to spawn. And I'm just like, is this for real? Like, and another thing is, squads would be able to hold down these buildings, and when they got shot, and after their medic was up, they'd walk out one by one, take off their armbands, you know, like kind of tactically move back up, hop back in the back window that they just walked out of, and they're back in the game. And like, so that's why you could never take any buildings there, is because one, they were just far enough that the BBs were kind of being lobbed, and it was a little weird if you weren't right up at the windows. And so the only way to really take a building was to push in and get them. And people, well, they always had a full squad of 10 guys in there. It was almost impossible.
Of course.
And so that's what I really didn't like about it. And I've had, you know, a lot of my guys have been to American Wilson games too. And that was a huge issue, or complaint about them. There's just like, it's just so stupid. Like, they just walk away when they get hit. So what is the
exact medic rule?
So the exact medic rule is, you know, you have to, you're supposed to wait out like 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then like, if you want to bleed out, or you can get immediately bandaged back in. But what we would see is a lot of people, they get shot, you know, stand around for a few seconds, be like,
so enforcement is a big part about it.
I mean, I can't really bang enforcement too much, just because, like, I mean, when you have 500 people at an event like that.
But I would argue it is the culture of the game and the event that does the enforcement in itself. Is, for example, you look at, they don't need to do much enforcing at the Spring Offensive Series games because they put the culture down when it started at 80-player games, and as it built up, it's been fairly consistent.
Yeah. No,
so you come here, and if you're that one asshole not following the rule, they know you're that one asshole.
Yeah, but when it's everyone doing it, it's like, you know, it's like you said, it's a culture. It's just a thing.
Exactly. So I think that kind of needs to be built into the game from when you start those types of games.
Yeah. No, I would absolutely agree with that. But you know, it's just that whole thing. Just really the main thing was, though, like I said, like, you can hold down rooms and buildings for hours just because they don't enforce any type of squad integrity, and you can walk back, take off your bandages. Hell, I'm sure you can even collect your buds bandages and then come back with like a full backpack of bandages and be like, all right, boys, we're here for another 30 minutes. I got some beer in my backpack. Like,
that would kind of ruin it for me. I'd get a little frustrated. You know me, as if I'm sitting in one spot playing Airsoft more than like 15 minutes, I'm like,
yeah, like, all right, let's do something.
Especially
let's go.
if I have to be pick strikes.
Yeah. So that was you know, kind of lame, and it was otherwise a very fun game. You know, it was really cool, like when you did roll squads, like building the building.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. And it was a wonderful facility too, but it was just, maybe it was just, I'm not trying to trash the Southern players, but like...
Different culture.
Southern players are a completely different breed of Airsoft.
It's a different gaming culture. Just like West players, it's a different culture.
Yeah. We have the best.
I was talking to someone from California, and they're saying, yeah, Airsoft's together, but it's just totally different.
Yeah, it's like baby mode.
What was I going to say is, it does remind me, it just reminds me of the story of when we were sitting 5 feet away from the CEO of TAN team. I yelled at you about your microphone prior to going to the game on your walkie-talkie. I'm like, that's going to give us away. If it gives us away, I'm going to punch you. And you're just sitting there like this with your hand over the speaker for half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad.
Whatever, you learned.
Yeah, I got a earpiece.
Every 2 seconds, Tess, can you turn my walkie-talkie down? 4 seconds later, Tess, can you turn my walkie-talkie up? 4 seconds later, Tess, can you turn my walkie-talkie down? For half an hour.
It's like a big valve on my back. Just hold it down.
And I'd be like a degree, and be like, that's too much.
It's not for real though. It's like okay, the house that I'm renting, the shower, it is the most absurd thing to get the perfect temperature.
No, literally the same thing at my house to change the cold knob, because I have a hot knob and a cold knob. Like, I'll be like, oh, it's a little too hot, and I'll literally go to make it just right. Like, I don't even, if I physically move it, it'll be too much.
Yeah, so I get in the shower, and I warm up the shower, and I have to I put my finger in, I'm like, wow, I just lost the skin on my finger. So I turn it down a bit, and I hop right in, anticipating a good temperature, and I'm like, my nipples just shoot out of my body. It's just like the most painful experience because it's so cold. Like my balls are just all up in a little thing.
It's
just the worst.
That's enough.
And then I just it's just the one knobs. I'm like sitting there freezing, and it's just.
Let's move on to how.
It's the worst.
Let's move on to how Ensado does medic rules. I would like a mix of the way Ensado does it and the way Stagos does it. I kind of like a little bit of A, a little bit of B here. So I like the idea of Ensado. You have a bleed out no matter what.
Yeah.
I really, really like that aspect because I hate the premise of shoot a guy. He goes, I'm hit, and sticks his hand behind the corner of the building he's standing next to, and he's back in and he shoots you again.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
To me, I like the ability to. Again, I like the ability to advance. You take out that guy, okay, he's dead for 5 minutes. And you can move on to the next person rather than I took out that guy. And now I have to sit here and stare at him while I'm trying to shoot his squad members because someone's inevitably going to sneak up in the bush and heal him and he's going to shoot me.
Yeah, I hear that. From a game perspective, that's definitely, I think, probably the safer route to go. But at the same time, this is me just complaining, trying to compare Real Steel to Airsoft. But I mean, you get shot. Generally, if you're being shot at, or if you get shot, you probably know that you're getting shot at, which means that you have adrenaline going through you. And if you're,
if you're gonna say you can take a certain number of rounds and fire,
you can take a hit.
Okay.
You can absolutely take a hit.
Here's the difference.
Human can take a hit. It depends on where.
Here's the difference, and this is gonna shoot down your argument here. If you're wearing something that allows you to take a hit, you're carrying at least 50 pounds of gear in terms of ballistic armor. If you're not, a regular 7.62 or 5.56 round is going to put a hole this big in you and you're not going to know.
I'm talking like your armor, something like your shoulders, something like, very bizarre. 90% of hits are going to be fatal, I know.
And when you pick up without ballistic plates, yeah. And if your arm gets shot off, you're not going to come back up ready. You might be able to shoot one-handed, but you're not going to be pie in that corner again.
I mean, you can be like, what is it, the Lone Survivor, where he gets his finger shot off and he's just holding his rifle with his stubby.
But you're not going to be 100% battle ready.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that's why I said it probably from a game perspective, having that that time, to kind of.
I think it just allows the field to move more dynamically in terms of.
Yeah, it's just like doing longer respawns here. Exact same thing.
It allows more frequent base shifting and allows the fire line to really move back and forth a bit more. On the same token, I kind of like the armband aspect of Stag Ops over the knot tying of Ensado.
Yeah, the knot tying. I mean, once again, that's like a specific thing. I like the things where you have to physically interact with someone. I would rather do.
That's my point.
Yeah, so I would rather do, and you can get back in, but you have to have some sort of medical attention. So like some kind of, like putting a tourniquet on or putting a bandage on. Untying a knot is stupid, I think, because you have to slip knots. That makes it really.
That we all tie.
Yeah, exactly. We all tie slip knots.
You just go done.
Yeah, exactly.
I understood the premise.
Yeah.
But you can't look at, that's not the right knot. No, you can't do that.
It's a knot, exactly. That's getting, once again, the NFL
right.
touchdown rules.
So, again, the whole immersion issue makes it too ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, and I think there was one game, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there was one Stag Ops game I went to where you were only allowed to be medicked, I think once or twice. And then I think it became a little too hard to ref because it was a new rule, and I think they removed that. I really liked that. I liked the idea of, your squad might have 11 bandages, and I personally witnessed, they have their saw gunner on a hill, and his leg is behind this hill, and they just have their medic sitting there next to the saw gunner, and he's just sitting there, hit. Throw an armband on it. Hit. Throw another armband on it. And you finally, they finally take out your squad. He walks out, and he looks like, he's wearing a full sock.
Yeah.
Because it's cut up socks. It's like they reassembled the sock on his leg.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, come on, like, you're not going to bandage somebody that got shot 20 times and he's going to keep shooting his machine gun.
Yeah.
So I really like the idea of limited, and that was where I like the not idea with Sato was you have
three lives. Yeah.
And that's why I would really like a good mash of the two of them.
Yeah. But then you just get so specific.
Well, no, and stay away from the specificness, but like, you know, I think limited number of bandages per squad, the way Stag Ops does it, is good. I think having to put it on somebody's arm like that is good. I would say you can't have more than 2 bandages on your arm. That's not that specific.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty easy. Actually, Isaiah had something to comment about. He thinks that having to worry about getting hit once sucks. You're so focused on making sure that you get your that you're actually calling your hits that it makes it more difficult to actually get any stuff done. And I can understand that.
I'm guessing I'm a bit confused. What is he saying?
So he's saying he doesn't like the fact that you're hit once. Obviously, from a game perspective, it has to work with the one hit. But you're so concerned on making sure that you're calling your hit, your singular hit, that it can take away from other things. And you're in a high stress situation.
I mean, we've all done a thing where we're in the middle of moving through something, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I got hit like 10 seconds ago. Like,
exactly,
it occurs to you a moment after when the adrenaline dips for a second. You're like, oh wait, shit, I didn't call that, and then you call yourself out then. So I totally understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
We've all done it. If you say you haven't done that,
I've done it all the time.
No, that's what I'm saying. If anybody out there says they haven't done it, it's
yes, and like sometimes a ref will come up and just be like, hey man, you got hit, like in your backpack. I'm just like,
no, I didn't feel that. I didn't know. All right, sorry.
I'm sorry, man.
The worst is the pouches. You don't hear them. You don't feel them.
Yeah, it's just so thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's always weird. I'm like, oops, sorry. He's like, yeah, man, some guy just came up all pissed off and cursing you out. I'm like, whoops. I'm sorry. Yikes. But yeah, it's that's just a part of the game, That's par for the course. It's definitely what you see there. But yeah, no, that's all fun. Hit calling and the medic issue is an interesting one.
Yeah. So what would be your ideal? Kind of similar to what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely something. I like the whole you can instantly get back in, but that's if you receive immediate.
No, see, I still avoid the instant. I
like the instant because I don't
see that's for me.
The 5-minute bleed out is the same thing. Like most players will play with that honestly. Like if I'm really good, I got my watch on me and I'll start a timer. But like I can get hit.
To be honest, I think the reason they do 5 minutes is because as long as it's longer than 2 minutes, let's be honest, most airsoft engagements are done in less than 5 minutes.
It depends on a lot of things, but yeah, like
tighter engagements where it really matters.
Exactly. No, I would agree. But like, there's so many times where I've been hit and I was like, all right, I'm out, and I'm just like, obviously I'm not dead. I'm like, all right, where did I just get shot from? I'm like analyzing the situation.
No, that's my problem with the instant one though. That's my problem. Is okay, I'm sitting behind cover. Oh, I got hit. Oh man, I'm hit. He's over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you medic me?
Yeah, no,
You've done that, I've done that, we've all done that.
Everyone has done
that.
Right,
and that's the issue of the instant back in.
Yeah, well, I'm talking like, the you need like medical attention for a set amount.
That takes 3 seconds.
I'm getting at is that I can't trust myself or other players to be counting 5 minutes honestly.
Again, this returns to where I'd love some kind of electrical or some kind of gizmo you give people that does it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Again, if you ever run like a real high-end event, maybe we'll make some of these things. Something that like keep a little thing on you. It has a couple fairly bright LEDs. Flash it. It's solid red. If you're dead, someone has to go in, hold a button for 20 seconds,
here's
and
a good idea.
the LED will flash for another 90 seconds,
yeah.
And then when it's done flashing, you're back in.
Yeah, just have a.
You could make the circuit for probably, and I'm not kidding, less than $10.
Yeah.
That way if someone walked away with it, wasn't the end of the world. It probably wouldn't withstand too many hits at that price point unless we like mass produce boxes for it, but
yeah.
I think it would be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, no, that would be interesting. Very easy concept, just like a 5-minute bleed out timer. If your thing's still bleeding, thing's still beeping and you can't go back in.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. Maybe have it do like a noise, some like really obnoxious noise.
Let me know let me know what you think, guys. Would you like just like a little simple thing like that, like a bleed out? Maybe we could sell it to Elite Force.
Yeah.
Actually, to be real, I probably could.
Yeah, the Milsim beeper, the Milsim buzzer.
Right. Would you guys be interested in something like that? Because like I don't know, I think that'd really help with the whole issue.
Oh yeah.
I realize that we're actually running out of time, so let's move on to vehicles. Again, don't bring up your salt. Don't bring up your salt.
Vehicles.
You can bring up your salt in a broad form, but
I just don't like them. Like.
So yeah, personally,
I think them. That's for sure.
I think it takes away from the Airsoft engagement. It adds to the storyline, cool. It adds to the theatrics a bit, which I understand we're all LARPing. Cool. But I feel like it takes away from the Airsoft engagement. I liked the old pure, you get in a gunfight, and it's a gunfight, and it's a gunfight, and that's it.
Yeah. I endorse vehicles as troop transports.
Yes.
And really that's it. That's really,
Gunships, there's no good gunship rules yet that I've seen, and I don't know how I would suggest to do it to keep both the vehicle safe, the people safe, and the driver safe.
Yeah, there really is no good way to go about it, unless you enforce, unless you as an event runner make it very, very clear, like when it comes to like whatever like you can shoot at like vehicles and stuff like that, like make it blatant, make them sign something that literally says, I understand what can happen to myself and my vehicle.
Even still, it's a safe thing, Last thing is someone gets shot in the face and they flinch and they cut their wheel and they hit somebody with a car. It's not good, or they flip a Jeep upside down or something silly like that.
Yeah. It doesn't work. It's just,
that's just saying
they're always just so cheesy, and they're almost exclusively driven by assholes. I'm not saying everyone. I know a lot of great guys who run.
And again, I feel like it really takes you out of that immersion. I know it's meant to add to the immersion, but a little Jeep Wrangler with 6 machine guns on it that you're not allowed to shoot at does not add to my immersion aspect.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fun. What is it, like if you and all your boys just throw in mad money, you got nods and infrared and rolling around with infrared headlights on your Jeep, you're just destroying everything. I'm sure it's a blast, but you can get the same high.
Even Pat has said that the vehicle warfare just isn't as fun as it used to be. Yeah,
but the thing is, my point is, I'm sure you can get the same high and probably spend around the same amount of money as if you got
the same nods and did straight up engagement.
Well, no, you got a real AR and you went and you hunted hogs at night.
Yeah.
You jump in your Jeep,
That's difficult.
Yeah, exactly. You just run right up to them. So you see these videos of guys shooting hogs at night from helicopters, and the helicopters are flying like 20 feet above the ground, and the hogs are right there. They're just like pow, pow, pow. You just see them just go down and down. That would be fun. I'm sorry, I would pay to do that because they're rodents, they're nuisances. They don't do anything.
They're not rodents.
Well, they're like coyotes. They don't.
They're not coyotes either, James.
I know what a hog is. I'm just saying they have the same destructive nature as the aforementioned animals, and as such,
I do hate when a hog bores a hole in my wall.
Yes, exactly.
just like those rodents.
Yeah.
Once in a while, you see a rat run out from under you.
No.
Sometimes a hog runs out.
This is the thing. Coyotes are categorized as rodents. It's the thing. That's why you can kill them all year round in most states.
Categorized as rodents.
Yes, they are. Either that, or
I think you're thinking the wrong word.
All right. Well, I'm maybe thinking of the wrong word. Berman. That's it. That's it. Thank you. Yeah,
I was going to say coyotes are not categorized as rats.
Very large rats. Either that or rats are just very small coyotes. More small coyotes.
Have you seen Shower Rat?
No, I haven't seen Shower Rat.
Look up Shower Rat real quick on Google while we're talking.
Okay, Shower Rat.
Shower space
Shower
Rat.
Is it like a meme or like a video?
Yes, it's a GIF. It should be.
Well, YouTube doesn't always play GIFs.
I said look it up on YouTube. On
Google. I am on Google. I said YouTube though, but yeah, no, I don't see any GIFs. Maybe if I type in GIF, that'll
try YouTube.
I'm not gonna look up YouTube. This isn't.
There we go.
What is it like? Oh, is it? Oh, I've seen this. He's like standing up showering. I don't remember the name of it.
I thought maybe. Oh. I didn't know by shower rat, you meant the rat shower.
I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of videos with rats in them.
Either way, my name is...
I've spent quite some time on the internet.
We're about staying on topic today. So in your opinion, best thing would just be vehicles are only troop transport.
Yeah, as an invincible troop transport. Think of it as a
it would be like a perk you can earn kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. As like a paratrooper drop-in thing. Just leave it at that. It's the best way because
written into the storyline, not.
Yeah, like in the scale that vehicles are effective when it comes to real warfare, like tanks and APCs, is not the scale that can work in any way, shape, or form in an airsoft game.
Right.
It just doesn't work. Like you're talking like you're rolling up to like a legit urban city and flattening houses as you're running through them. Like that just doesn't work in airsoft.
No. Yeah. And in the real world, fact of the matter is, you're shooting that thing with a javelin or an AT-4 from 1,000 feet away, plus.
Exactly.
In airsoft, you have to get this close to the vehicle to successfully shoot it with anything. So it's different. Like I said, I think that really pulls me out of the immersion. I would agree with you. I just don't like vehicles. We've talked about it in depth before.
Yeah. And someone suggested maybe all drivers should be staff with motorcycle helmets, but it just kind of goes back to the whole safety thing.
Yeah. And also, you need that staff to run the game.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, unfortunately, we all like to say, oh, staff can do this, and staff can do that, and staff should do this. But a lot of these games are run by like 4 people.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the smaller ones, like what is it, Stag Ups? Yeah. Well, usually Milsom West is pretty good about it.
Well, yeah, it's smaller ones by like not $300 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even Emsato only has a handful of reps at a time, and most of the time they're just volunteer, like players who volunteer. He actually is a really great thing. If you volunteer to referee one of his games or go play or something like that, he gives you free entry to the next game of equal value.
I do think that Stag Ops is the same thing. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? It's a pretty good deal. Let's see. Isaiah said, I think the way Milsom West does it is that if you have a Humvee, you can engage people but still be engaged by small arms. I don't really know, like
you can shoot at the drive. Yeah, you can shoot with a regular airsoft gun. You can shoot at them.
I mean, that's a safety thing. I know Milsom West is regarded as the best experience.
So, this is how I would do it. If you said gunships need to exist in airsoft, I would say people inside you need vehicles that have windows to start with. Windows aren't going to get shot by airsoft guns, realistically. Aren't going to get shot at. If you have something with a turret mount or a bed that you can put a gun on, something like that, but it needs to have an enclosed cabin. Those in the cabin can do nothing to engage airsofters. So that way the cabin can be, you don't need airsoft goggles on, and it can be completely enclosed and completely safe. And then people on the outside of the vehicle, whether it be in a gun in the truck of a bed or a turret on a Humvee, if they get shot, they're dead.
Like at the windows, like if someone shoots your window, you should call it out?
Did you listen to anything I said?
I'm just a little confused by it.
Okay. Pickup truck. You have your cabin.
Yes.
You have your bed.
Oh, bed. Okay, I get it now. Okay, my bad. I understand. I was more so asking, like, if you're a driver and someone shot at your window because you're saying you can engage people inside the cars.
No, you didn't listen to anything.
I picked up a little bit of it.
I said people within the cabin of the vehicle. All the windows have to be up. It is a safe area. They don't even need to wear goggles, but they cannot engage people outside the vehicle. And obviously, since pellets don't go through glass, they do not get engaged by airsofters.
Okay, I understand that, but my question was, let's say you're driving it, and it's an honor-based game, that's what airsoft is. If someone shoots a burst at your window...
It's meaningless.
Is that up to you to call yourself out? Really?
No, that's my point. Is
bullets go through windows?
Yes,
dude.
But Humvees are armored. My point being is...
Well, like I said, when you're out in Afghanistan and homeboy in his pajamas and his Toyota truck,
but
it's like...
but his homeboy in his Toyota truck, A, he's going to shoot out that window, which you're not allowed to do. And B,
he's just going to run you over, you and your family.
The gunner cannot respawn until the vehicle goes back to respawn. The idea is you take out the gunner who is open to fire. You take out the gunner, the vehicle has to go back to respawn.
I guess that's a fair way to approach it.
That way the gunner can engage people, people can engage the gunner. Gunner is safe, driver is safe. Or, gunner's not safe from being hit, but, safe in terms of, like, safety. But it's not an overpowered element as well. But you can still use this vehicle to, like, move up alongside it. So it could still be used as, like, moving armor. Which I do like the idea of.
Yeah.
It does help when you have a stalemate. It does help break the stalemate. That is definitely a benefit of vehicles at times.
Yeah.
So that's how I would institute it. I would say the cabin is a safe zone. No guns in the cabin, no live guns in the cabin, no ammo in the cabin, anything like that.
It's explosives.
You have the driver in the cabin, maybe one passenger to keep them company if they want to, but either way, those people cannot have. Those people cannot.
Bring your girlfriend along, skip roadhead the entire time. That would, I would buy a vehicle just for that. Be like, Jesse, we're going to an Airsoft game. Sorry, headphone users.
Those people, but people within the cabin cannot have any engagements or interactions with outside people. Their job is just clearly to maneuver the vehicle and make sure they don't injure anyone.
All right. Yeah, it's not. It's pretty good way to approach it. But will we ever see something that thorough ever implanted into
That's not even that thorough. That's just
that logical implanted into an Airsoft game.
Airsoft has no logic.
Yeah, there is no logic to it. It's just it's Airsoft. It's like that hard. I keep making football analogies. Maybe it's because I have like PTSD from watching the Patriots lose.
Oh, they lost.
Yes, they lost. But yeah, no, it's like you just get that one hardcore fan that's just so anal about the rules. And I have a friend on Facebook, really great guy. But when it comes to any Patriots game, he's always like, finger like on Facebook, just like that was a bullshit call. His toe was on the line. It's just like, dude.
When you went to the same analysis the other direction, you find just as many calls.
What do you mean?
I'm saying the way the refs called out Patriots or didn't call out Patriots.
No, I'm pretty fair. Like
no, my point is, someone's going to be that scrutinous at the refs against the Patriots. They should be just as scrutinous about the refs against the other team, and they probably find it's pretty well balanced.
Yeah, but
point.
Yeah, no, it's
just no. But like I said, returning to what I was saying, that's how I think we should do vehicles. We have enough time to discuss probably one more topic. Is there any topic in specific you want to talk about?
Rules in Airsoft. Let's see.
Like, what's a...
Can I institute rules on, let's see, on sportsmanship and personality flaws
and how do you make that a rule?
And other things that 90% of Airsofters carry. Just like being like obnoxious and just being a straight up dick. Like, I feel like we had a stream about this a while ago. Yeah, like being a dick in Airsoft. That was a stream that we did, and it's just like, I don't know. I wish that you could do like a psyche eval before we made you play an Airsoft game sometimes. No, we never get to play. That's probably very true. No, but I'm talking about the guy that just screams in his corner, screaming, "I'm already hit!" That guy, and he'll walk 80 yards just to scream in your face. There's always one or two of them at an Airsoft game, and like I just wish that there was some kind of rule, like barring those people.
It's hard when it's such a high adrenaline.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Me and you were like, me and you, I've seen you play. We're pretty good at being like, okay, and stepping away from the situation, but. Different people are different ways.
Yeah,
some people
they have you passionate about it. It's just like,
yeah,
just like a guy. Like I get it. Like I'm here to do the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
But
some people get so salty they throw a grenade at your own team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're so salty by the way that you guys are planning your assault on this building full of enemies that they relieve you.
We were assaulting.
Yes. That was the worst. Yeah, so we've alluded to this a few times in this stream, and for those of you who haven't heard this story 1,000 times, you will get to hear it 1,001 times. At an MSADOA game, we were all just kind of bunched up, looking out windows, looking across the way.
And mind you, we were in the middle of we were engaging people. We had someone on the door,
we were
opening and closing the door, shooting down.
Yeah, we were doing that Airsoft thing where you kind of peep out the door and shoot.
Yeah.
They were doing it too.
Yeah.
It was whatever. And so we're like, all just kind of like peeping out a window, because once again, windows are bulletproof in Airsoft. And we're like planning our next attack, our next move. There's probably a squad. There's our squad, and then there's a few other randos in there.
And we're starting to stack up on the
we're starting to kind of stack up, and it's very unorganized. Not anything professional that you see out of this.
Mind you, we had just cleared this room.
Yeah, no, we just cleared it out like 5 minutes prior.
2 to 5 minutes before.
Exactly. So we're doing our thing, whatever. And there's a platoon there who's just kind of like barking at us, and we're completely not paying attention to him. Because he has nothing that I was on.
There's no value added.
Exactly. I was on squad leader comms, the same comm network I was on. He knew everything. I knew everything he knew. And so he was just there barking at us, about like how we're stacking up or whatever, or how we're going about this. And we're all just like.
And sure, he was telling us, if someone came in the door behind you, you'd all be dead. We all kind of turned around and saw the 3 squads of friendlies at the door, and we're like,
there's 40 people in this room, guy. No one's getting in here.
Right.
So he got so salty that he took out a grenade and he threw it into
a pea grenade.
Yeah,
not a sound grenade.
Yeah, no, an explosive grenade. He threw it into our group of guys, and it went off, and we're all just like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I bet you guys will give me attention now." And we all just kind of turn around and we're like,
"What is wrong
fuck
with you?
Did you just say? Like, did you just throw a grenade?"
And the best part was me going.
Yeah, well, that's when voices started to raise, and a few of my guys were getting ready to throw fists at this guy. This guy was like, I did tours, and half my team are active or prior military. They're like, great, I was in the shithole too. It just.
Did you grenade your own guys out there too?
Oh yeah, so and even me, I was starting to yell at him too. Like I never yell, and I was like, dude, you suck. I mean, I wasn't telling him I'm gonna fight you. I'm just like, no, you're just a bad person. Like I hate you. But yeah, well, once it started getting serious, you just saw Des like kind of leave the area.
When it comes to Airsoft drama, I'm like, it stays.
That one was justified.
It was, but
anyway, so we like gentlemen. We called our hit, and then he's like, "Oh, what? You guys are all going back to spawn?" I'm like, "Yeah, you grenaded us."
No,
bro.
he goes, "You better be calling your hit." Is what he said.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah, so we call our hit, and we walk back to cooldown. We could have not called that and just chalked it up to him just being a dick and not realized. No, but you know what? We're all mad. We cooled down. We went.
Me and you stayed in the same.
We took 30 minutes to just.
Well, no, the funny thing is, we didn't cool down. We went back to respawn. We were all PO'd. We went out to an engagement. Sucked. We were trash.
Yeah.
And then we came back and said, F this. And we just cooled down for half an hour, and we went back and wreck shop the rest of the day.
Yeah. It was probably the best thing, though, we're tying back into the whole rules and Airsoft thing, is shortly after that, there was an issue with hit calling or integrity or something like that. So Tom sadly always has to stop his game halfway through, bring everyone together at some random location on the field and be like, guys, listen, here's the rules. Let's all talk about it. Let's all bring it out in the open. And so I didn't have a chance to report this to game staff yet, but I saw an opportunity and I took it. And so everyone, he's like, towards the end of this whole thing where he's talking about integrity and stuff, he's like, all right, guys, any more questions? A few questions came up, and I raised my hand, and he's like, yes. I'm like, so what if you get grenaded by your own team? He's
on purpose.
And he's like, oh, you're out. I'm like, on purpose. What do I do? What do I do about that? He's like, what? I'm like, what if a member of my command element threw a grenade intentionally at my squad? What do I do? And literally everyone was like, what? And then he's like,
talk to me in a minute.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, talk to me after this. It was just like, it's the most obnoxious thing. And he was completely cool about it.
Tom is great.
Yeah.
That actually gave me a lot of respect for him.
It was just such an interesting. It's funny now that we're looking back at it, but like
Yeah, that's why we joke about it. If we were actually still pissed off about it, we wouldn't joke about it.
yeah, because that would be a lot more mean.
Right. We're just sitting here like, that time.
Yeah, right.
But I think we're actually out of time. I can't believe we already are at.
Yeah,
10
we thought
o'clock.
we were only going to get an hour worth of content out of this, but we made it all the way to 10.
It was actually a lot more interesting than I expected.
Yeah.
There's even a couple things we even talk about, like machine gun rules and stuff like that.
Yeah, like saw gunners, all that stuff. But those are specific ones. I think we covered the main rules. But speaking of main rules, the most important rule is have fun.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if you're showing there,
remember, if you're out there and you're getting heated, be like, wait, I'm out here to have a good time.
Like if you're not having fun and like
Step off.
Yeah, like step off. If literally everyone on both ends aren't having fun, then there's definitely something wrong with the game. But generally, if you're not having fun, it's on you. Like I know that there's many specific scenarios where you deal with a dickhead or this, that, and the other thing, but like...
Well, and again, perfect example is that's the best thing to do is if you're frustrated by something, take a minute to cool down. There's one time me and Jake were playing an Autumn Justice game. It was getting late on Saturday, and people always get a little salty later in the day, everyone's tired and adrenaline and all that.
Always happens.
And we ran into a squad that just blatantly wasn't calling hits. Like they weren't even pretending to call hits. It was like 2 hours till game ends, and we're like, okay, we got hit, walked back to respawn. I was like, want to go get dinner? And
yeah, just call it early.
we were like, we'll call it early, grab some dinner, come back tomorrow and be happy, rather than leaving at the end of the night pissed and wanting to just go home.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm very excited for Operation Cold Steel in early March. But since the property can only be open, like for game can only be open past 9 or until 9. Honestly, I'm looking so forward to going out to a local bar with you guys afterwards.
So James, what was your change in opinion about staying at a hotel at this last game?
Well, now that I'm 21 and I can go drink and have and like
no,
really
but also
with the
just
boys.
what was your exact word? Because basically,
nice.
He stayed with us at the last Autumn Justice we went to, and he's like, dude, I like camping out there. Like, you feel more with the game. Like, you wake up in the morning, you're there to play. You don't have to drive. It's more like immersive. You didn't use that word, but it's what you're going for. And I was like, dude, the shower is worth every penny.
No, really like to
second.
I know returning to the grossness, but just to like clean my balls and my butt crack. Like that's the best part about that.
Didn't make Sunday way
It made it so much better because I always wake up, like I'll bring a clean pair of underwear and like maybe like a wet wipe or something, just to like be clean. Because you do a lot of running and like anyone else, like it gets all gross everywhere. And
you wake up Sunday and you're just like,
still
I
like
really want to do
you got like that
this.
thin film of like grease on you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and I know I sound like a real bitch out here when there's guys who are sleeping.
But
in their Humvees.
But we're there to have fun.
Yeah,
you're not in real war to have fun.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
And it's one of those things. It's just like I know I talk all about immersion, but when the game's done, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, like I did the tent thing for a while, and you wake up and you're just like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah, but tell me, it isn't great to drink around a campfire with all your guys that you just host.
I'm not into that.
You don't like the whole campfire thing?
No, I like the campfire thing, but I don't want to get wasted at the games and shit like that. I know a lot of people are, and it's just not my style.
It's a lot of fun.
It's not my style.
It's a lot of fun.
Also, hangovers the next morning. Hangovers and Airsoft don't mix for me.
It's so much more than the experience. I have so many times. There's so many memories of me against the rules drinking at Stag Ops games or at a campfire and just BSing with the boys until like 1 a.m. waking up tired and hungover as hell. And going out and playing a fun day. Like that's a lot of fun too. But it's really what you make it. That's the nice thing about Airsoft.
Yep, but I think with that, we have a few minutes left to do your wrap-up announcements. And if you guys saw us from the gaming stream, feel free to tune out now. We're just going to talk about upcoming events. But if you didn't catch that, just listen in for a couple minutes. You don't miss out on anything cool coming up. I'll let you take that over.
Yeah, so this upcoming weekend we have our D-Day event. Make sure you come and pre-register online. It's $30 or $50 if you need to rent. And it'll be $35 or $55 a day. So you get to save $5 if you're a member. Just let us know that you want to show up, and you get to show up. We'll walk right in. That's the best part about memberships. It'll be, like I said, a D-Day theme event. You show up in your favorite World War II gear from your favorite Axis or Allies power. I know what I'm going to be wearing, and it's just going to be disgustingly amazing. I'm so excited for it. You guys should be too.
I'm going to try and be there. I might have to do thesis work, sadly.
Lame. What a nerd. Yeah, exactly. Everyone rips on. If you guys are still in high school, trust me, nerds make all the money. And I'm not saying that because I've slowly accepted the fact that I am a nerd. But like, if you look at like what you get paid, it's worth it. Anyways, yeah. So the following weekend is Pistol Shotgun Night, and on Friday night, and then Saturday night is Adult Night, and then the week after we have February Vacation Gaming. So we have Nerf from 9 to 12, and then Airsoft from 12 to 7, and then regular gaming after that. And then, of course, the Expo on the 8th. Make sure you can all pre-register for that. All the information you could ever want will be found on our website or on Facebook. We have events for both.
And we'll be slowly announcing people will be coming to that as they sign up. So
yes.
Do we have any others, obviously 511, but any other Airsoft fields and stores from the area?
Not that I know of.
Aw.
Yeah, not that I know of. I haven't checked it in a
See
bit.
if we can do some more
more networking.
Yes.
For all that stuff.
But with that, guys, thank you for joining for a very late stream today. Hopefully
a little bit.
We'll be less sick next week.
No, I can't. I have homework. Dude, heat match transfer sucks. It's a hard class.
Told you so.
It's by far going to be the hardest class of the semester.
Told you so.
It sucks so.
I told you so. You didn't. I don't know why you never believed me.
No. I thought it was going to be like just like thermo.
You're like, oh, it sounds cool. You literally said that to me. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it does sound cool. I thought it was going to be like thermo 2, but no, it's just everything that I could have. It's like the stuff that. It's like engineering nightmares.
Yeah.
Like some people get nightmares about like, their family getting raped and killed. I get nightmares about, heat mass transfer.
And on that bombshell, thanks for joining us tonight. We will see you
First world problems.
We will see you next week. Bye.